There's a process for selecting the new pope. I believe the official process is all of the cardinals get together in the Vatican.
The baseball team?
The baseball team. It's Jim Edmonds and Albert Pujols.
Yeah, they get all the Cardinals, and then they get the entire MLB baseball team, and they decide.
And they play a 9-inning scrimmage.
And whoever has the best RBI
is the pope.
Yep. Religious-based index.
But I would like to play a game with you where we choose the pope in more of a traditional game show style.
Oh, shit.
So, James...
A little Kevin MacLeod on this bitch?
Kevin MacLeod.
Kevin MacLeod has made the most copyright-free music of any artist.
Oh, really?
That's like how I know him. He's in college, they'd be like, use a Kevin MacLeod song.
Yeah. I don't know who that is, but James, I would like to present you with The Hatchler. So...
The Hatchlerette.
The Hatchlerette, correct. The Hatchlerette. The hat, of course, being the Pope's hat.
Get it, Kevin!
James, we are in for a sweet one. And I'll tell you what, at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you some contestants, and you're going to choose who you want to be the Hatchlerette's Pope. The Pope.
The Hatchler, that Blatchler, that Pope.
So let's get right into it.
I love this.
Let's get into the actual hat.
Is that Benedict?
That is, I believe, Benedict Ratzinger.
Who's Ratzinger?
Ratzinger was his last name.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And he was a Nazi and a pedophile.
I don't know if that's true.
I
don't think he was a Nazi and a pedophile. Wasn't he
was.
alive when they picked the new pope? He stepped down.
He did step down
Right.
because of all the Nazi pedophiliisms. But James, here, let's get to the actual hat. What are we trying to get here? It's a beautiful hat. I mean, look at that hat. You can eat a bowl of chili out of that hat. You could
Eat a bowl of children out of that hat. Child chili.
I'll tell you what, you would look great in that hat.
Thank you.
We should get a couple of Pope hats for the show.
I would love it. I would love to drive around the Pope mobile with you in the back.
Oh, dude, that would be
just
incredible.
jerking it around town and no one can stop you.
Yeah,
because
it's bulletproof. Yeah.
Just people firing at you while you're trying to bust.
And I'm firing right back at them.
You're firing out.
But that hat is probably a $700 or $800 hat, easy. Right?
Probably more than that.
It's probably more. The real hat is probably more.
Yeah. Oh, you mean that hat? Yeah.
That hat on Temu is probably like $700.
Yeah, you can buy a whole Pope hat. The new Pope's hat will be bought on Temu.
Correct. So that's what that's what you want. That's,
Who is that,
that's
Lucas
what we're
Arnold?
playing for. That's
He's like, oh no, religion, my gayness.
That's Natan Batalov.
Oh.
He's like, what if women were just all dead? You know?
It's a great idea.
That's
It's a great point, Natan. I haven't seen that guy in 4 years.
So anyway, yeah, this song is just going to loop, just so you know. But anyway, James, let's meet some of the contestants. Now, before...
I feel like Lord Farquaad in Shrek.
Yeah, this is...
Bachelor number one.
That's what we're going
Number three, my lord. Number three.
Pick number three. Before we get into the contestants, we have to break down the stats of all of these contestants. So they're going to be broken down in levels of skill based on prayer, presentation, miracles, incense skill, and Italianness.
Ew.
The 5 most important assets of being the next pope.
Word.
So I want you to kind of take all of this into account when you, James, are choosing the next pope of America.
Of the United States.
The first contestant, you named him earlier, James. Popa John.
Oh! He's in the running?
Popa John is in the running. So as you can see, prayer, not so great.
No.
Presentation,
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Miracles, a little less than average.
But have you had that bread? That crust?
That's where he's getting some of his points. Exactly. The way he uses that sauce. You know, his incense skills, though, very low.
Right.
He's more of a wood-fired kind of guy.
But carrying him is that high-level Italianness, Patty, and I think that might bring him into the pro leagues if he wants to be your next Pope.
That's correct. He has a lot of Italianness here. What do you see when you see Popa John?
I just think about how he said the N-word in a meeting.
Yeah. So I guess his prayer should be higher, you would think.
You would think. But I don't think that
trying to
disqualifies him from this.
absolve some of his sins here. But
Wow.
okay, so yeah, there's Popa John. He's
I
the
love
first
him.
contestant.
I love him.
We
He's
have
a
8 contestants, just so you know.
goddamn.
Okay.
I gotta get out of here.
Next up, we have Glenn Quagmire. Now, Glenn, of course,
Half Asian.
half Asian, full of prayer. Not much presentation. That shirt, I think he's going to have to ditch that for the Pope
He
garb.
looked great in the hat, though.
He would look pretty good in the hat. Incense skills are pretty good. Not very Italian, though, I will say. What do you think? What do you see when you see Glenn Quagmire?
I think Glenn is a great candidate for Pope. I do think he has a dark past. He can fly, though. He is a pilot, so that gives him some benefits of being able to get himself around. In an
Sure.
emergency, 20,000 feet above the air, he's always able to hop in.
Right.
Kind of a miracle when you think about it. But, the Italianness levels are low. Quagmire, I believe that's a Dutch last name. But I didn't realize he prayed that much. So
He does. He's a man of prayer, which
know.
we want to see in a Pope. So
Very
anyway,
nice. Lower than Papa John, though. I'm giving my
Okay.
votes. I'll give you where they're at.
Sure. Well, next, James, we have Danny DeVito.
Oh!
So Danny DeVito, not much of a prayer, not much in presentation, but as you can see, the rest of the stats, he's
Significant.
he's well matched against his competitors.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think that's great. Okay, so what's it? Miracles? He's got a high level of miracles.
High level of
Because
miracles.
somehow he's managed to still be alive.
That's the biggest miracle of all, being that small and that fucking retarded. You would think he would be a dead guy.
Yeah, incense level, I think he probably just smells like that.
He probably does.
And Italianness, I would even rank him a little higher, maybe
I
in
think
the level.
that's an underrated Italianness
But
score.
perhaps, maybe he doesn't have Italian wife, and that can bring down your Italianness. Maybe
It
he didn't live with
does.
his mom till 35. That lowers your Italianness.
Right. Also, being in Always Sunny, that's kind of an Irish show.
That is an Irish show. That's
hurts
for
your-
us. That's for us.
That's right. That
Not
hurts
for you
your-
guys. You guys have The Sopranos and Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Speaking of that, Sopran nose on him. That's not a very Italian nose
No.
either.
Clearly, yeah. We'll see about him.
So let's move on to the next contestant. We have Popa Fett. So this is kind of a spin-off of Boba Fett, but that's what he would be referred to as.
Okay.
Popa Fett. Prayer is high. Presentation. James, that presentation is through the
You
roof.
can't beat that suit, dude. He looks incredible. That's why they gave him the Book of Boba Fett. And he's got quality looks. He's the first one to do it. He literally carried an entire brand and identity of being a badass and a cool character just
Correct.
based off a costume. He says maybe 2 words in the original Star Wars series.
Right, which is why his Italianness is so low.
Right, because he would be talking a lot.
He would be talking a lot.
Almost never talks with his hands. He speaks with his gun,
That's
which is less
correct.
Italian. That's more of a black people thing.
That's correct. So he's missing out on the latter skills here, the miracles and the incense skills. But let's be honest, how much of that is really necessary in today's Popehood? Not too much.
He may be my front runner at this point.
All
I think
right.
He might. It's all about presentation when it comes to the Catholic Church.
Well, here we
like
go.
presenting your balls to an altar boy.
Correct. And here we have, speaking of presenting balls to an altar boy, our next contestant is Waluigi.
Oh, dude. Couldn't be more Italian.
Could not be more Italian,
Wow.
has exceptional presentation and incense skills, but James, where he lacks is honestly on the religious aspects with prayers and miracles. What do you think about Waluigi?
I think I've seen Waluigi pull off some miracles in a late stage round of Mario Kart.
That's
Pulling
correct.
out a dub, but I don't think that would apply as much, Patty, when you're getting into the Vatican. So if you want to be Italian, that's about half of the way there. And if you want to have beautiful presentation like Waluigi, that gives you a leg up on your competition. And I'll tell you, Patty, Waluigi has legs to spare.
I think that vocal thing might go back.
Sure.
Anyway, so that's Waluigi. Next up, we have Gibby,
Gibby!
from iCarly.
Oh, shit, dude.
Gibby, he's an underdog,
You know what
I will
meant?
say.
It's like, I didn't know Gibby did stand-up.
Wow, I've heard that about Gibby and Kyle Rittenhouse now.
Kyle Gibbonhouse.
But anyway, James,
Kyle Gibbonhouse. That's my friend Patty.
He might be the first pope to be shirtless.
Yeah. He's the Bert Kreischer of the Catholic Church.
Correct.
So he prays a lot. Beautiful presentation. Look how he's presenting those supple young boy breasts.
Yep.
You can notice how the nipple inverts a bit, which I've had familiar with as a chubby youngster. Miracles low. I don't think he does miracles. He's just a feat of human, like an anomaly in human strength and physicality.
Right.
Incense low, but that's a frivolous score anyway. It almost doesn't calculate into your in your overall score here.
Sure.
And Italianness, I mean, you can't grant the guy less than that because that's really like he maybe even get a little bit more. The Italianness score is sort of tripping me up here because based on the way this guy looks, he's like looks like every Italian kid I knew in Long Island.
Right. He could be more Italian. I agree. I think what hurts him is, being a child. Italians are typically not children.
Yes.
They turn Italian later in life.
Right. They
transition. Kind of like Jewish. There's not a lot of Jewish children unless you're Hasidic, but as you get older, you get more Jewish. It's Gibbsidic, exactly. So, anyway, Gibby, kind of a sneaky contender here for Pope. Don't count him out.
I gotta say, though, Patty, Pope Buffett and Waluigi might have him beat.
Let's move on to our next contestant, a fan favorite here on News from Bed. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Uncle Laser.
Oh, dude, Uncle Laser. High prayer, like low prayer, high presentation.
High presentation.
That guy might be all presentation. His miracles are low because have you seen that guy's act? There's no miracles in sight. I would say it's a miracle he has any fame at all. When it comes to incense, though, that guy's pretty high. I think they might have thought it was incest when they gave him that high of a score.
That might be correct, James. And I'll tell you what's hurting him a little bit is the Italianism.
Which confuses me, because that hair is a bowl of spaghetti.
But I think where his problem is, he doesn't talk with his hands. Instead, he uses his hands to hold the microphone.
Exactly. He uses his arms and hands to beat women.
Which is pretty Italian. So, Uncle Laser, he might make a good pope one day.
Hey, he might. He's already gay, so it could help him get the rest of the way. Those tattoos are holding you back, Uncle Laser. Incredible presentation. That incense, that's just because you wear so much goddamn cologne.
Correct. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing I'd love to do more than hit him in the head with a hammer. Let's move on to our final contestant, also a fan favorite on News from Bed. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the ghost of Popal Rodney Dangerfield.
Whoa, dude, look at him.
So he's slightly transparent. He's purple, which sounds like Popal. And he's dead, which makes him a ghost. He might be the top candidate for the next pope.
He's all miracle, half Italian, and low incense. He is the ghost of Popal, Rodney Dangerfield. Now,
Correct.
He's full of prayer because he is a force ghost from beyond our dimension. His presentation is low because you can throw rocks and see through him. His spirituality, that's what miracles. I mean, it's a miracle this guy came back. Miracle even more the fact that he's purple.
Correct. And I think what's hurting his presentation is he just doesn't get a lot of respect in that category.
Yeah. Let me tell you, he doesn't get a lot of respect. Incense low, you might need, I think the incense gets a little bit of points because you need a fog machine to see him. Because he's almost like laser effects at an EDM concert.
Correct.
But
I'll tell you, what is Skrillex coming on next?
What do I tell you? No respect for Zed. No respect at all.
But I'll tell you what, he's looking great in the miracles department because...
Hey, I'll tell you my top three. Waluigi, Popafet, and the ghost of Pope Lee Rodney Dangerfield.
Wow, James. Well, it has come that time in the Hatchlorette for you to decide who your next pope is. Now, we'll do a very quick rundown of all your candidates here on
I thought you were going to do them all again.
Yep, here they all are on screen.
All right, let's go one at a time. I'll do eliminations and we'll break it down here. Papa John, great candidate, great guy. I love everything he's ever said in a corporate board meeting, but he cannot be my next pope. He's got to focus on the pizza. Now, Glenn Quagmire, the only thing holding him back is being a fictional character voiced by Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane, famous black Irish, because of that black hair and those squinty eyes. I don't think Glenn Quagmire can qualify. If I'm knocking out Pope John, Glenn Quagmire, unfortunately, you fall below him, you'll be knocked out. Now, Danny DeVito, why would we elect an old pope? You're down to your last few years as is.
Correct.
You got to get through the last couple seasons of this dragging out kind of show that's going on with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So, Danny DeVito, I'm sorry, our top three on the first three lists, you are all knocked out.
All right, James, that takes us to the second line of the list. A lot of heavy hitters in this line.
Now, the presentation of Popafet kind of carries him through. I believe he has almost the highest presentation of anyone, and presentation is power when it comes to being a pope.
It goes a long way, James.
You make it to my top 3, Popafet. I love you, and I respect you for getting up in that Sarlacc pit. Now, Gibby, I cannot in good conscience elect you as a child to the paposphere.
Although, James, I will say, I don't know if he's a child anymore.
That's true. He might have aged out, but his stats are kind of based on his existence in the iCarly universe.
That is true.
Also a fictional character. We know Boba Fett, Waluigi, Rodney Dangerfield, and Uncle Laser are all not fictional characters, so Gibby, you will have to be knocked out. Now, Waluigi, I mean, he's stacked. He's OP for this.
James,
honestly.
when I look at Waluigi, I see a guy who I'd like to see lead those in the Vatican.
I think, Waluigi, you make it to the top 3, so I have to pick one final one out of Uncle Laser and the ghost of Popal Rodney Dangerfield. Now, in my thought here, Uncle Laser, he's on the road. He's busy sexually assaulting bartenders. So I think Uncle Laser, you have too much on your plate as is, and I'm not talking about that spaghetti on top of your head.
Correct.
You linguini Uncle Fuck, you cannot go into the Poposphere.
All
So
right.
our top 3 for me are Popafet, Waluigi, and the ghost of Popal Rodney Dangerfield.
Wow, congratulations to the top 3. We will now be selecting the final winner here on The Hatchelorette. James, it is time for you to pick your final guy.
Very nice, Patty. Very good job. Okay, so I do think people are going to have a hard time. It'll be a controversial pick if I do choose this, so I will have to unfortunately knock out the ghost of Popal Rodney Dangerfield.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Handing him his scepter. He'll walk out of the room and we'll watch him kind of glaze through the wall as he exits.
Glaze through the wall like a donut.
Like a donut.
like one of your famous donuts,
Rodney Donutfield.
Ronnie Donutfield. So it comes down to Popafet or Waluigi, and I gotta say, Patty, Waluigi, his stats are stacked
And they
against
are.
Popafet. Popafet has an incredible charisma to him, but Waluigi has almost there. And what Waluigi has in incense and Italianness, it just annihilates Popafet. But I will say, Popafet is a personal favorite. I do feel like maybe when they go down into the voting and when they're in the conclave trying to choose, Popafet could hold his own. But just because he has the capacity to take the role, I don't believe he's earned it. My Pope is one Mr. Waluigi.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your Pope, Waluigi.
God, I just didn't know how I would feel when it happened.
This
I
has
was so
been
important to me, and now that I chose him, I just know that it's so special and important.
I think you made a great decision, James, and thank you all for joining
I'm
us.
just so happy.
We will be back next year when we kill Waluigi for a new season of The Hatchelorette. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.